This video is about replacing a seal on the Saildrive. The best one to watch though is Sailing Brittly, who Chris takes you through it in an easy to understand method. I cannot recommend him enough. He does it really well. He's very clear with his instruction.
The problem I've got is getting to the back bolts and all around there, and that's quite difficult. Normally you've got access from the other side, but on this boat you don't. But the idea is you get in on this side, which I'm going to try and do now. The difficulty is that it's head height. I'll show you when I can get there. Well, where are we up to? Here we go. I've done the nuts, taken all the nuts out. There's 6 nuts there, as the guy on Sailing Brittly says. I've been following his YouTube with close attention. I thought I'd take a shortcut and just take the plate off here, but unfortunately I can't get those screws out, and I don't know why that big screw doesn't take the plate off altogether. But anyway, as he said on Sailing Brittly, the easiest way is to take this off here, which is what I'm going to do now. There's a split pin on the other side that's very difficult to get at, but possible. So I'll be removing that. Then I'll be taking the oil out, emptying the oil, which I need to do today. And the most important thing is to get this released. I've got tension on this already down below. I've got a rope down below and I've put tension on it, but it's still not opened it up. And to put some blocks underneath. So the blocks are to keep the engine up once it comes apart. So I can try and get some blocks in there. Yeah, I think that's the only place I can get them in. So I'll try and get a block in there, and that way when it comes off it won't drop, because that can cause some damage to the spline on the Saildrive, and also, you know, damage to hoses, etc. So hopefully that won't happen. Okay, now to the next stage. Currently I've got this strap around the 2 supports, engine mounts, and I've been using that to try and pull it forward with, but this time I'm going to try a more equal pull. Hopefully that'll work around the mid-engine itself. So I think this will give it a better pull. Gotta be careful I don't catch anything. Well, it's just not easy to see what's over there, but I think I just need to go underneath that hose and then around the engine itself. And that hopefully will give it a bit better pull, making sure not to catch any hoses on the way, because the hoses are well, it's an expensive replacement, isn't it? So if I actually attach that around the cylinder block, that should give me a more even pull, and hopefully help me release it.
Once the cable's it's a matter of then ratcheting the engine forward, and
it's one stubborn engine. I'll go and try it outside and see whether that works. Right, I've attached one of these straps now to the Saildrive and pulling it towards the front of the boat on a rope, and now hopefully we can get somewhere I'm going to try and lift the engine by the engine frame and see whether that helps. Whoop. Oh, that was easy enough. Let's go and see what's happened at the back. Oh, and there we have it. There we have it. Well, that took a lot of pressure, a lot of work, but it looks free. So if I can move that engine now to the front without it dropping, hopefully it should be okay. That's why they say put some wood underneath there to hold it up. It's easier said than done, having just spent ages trying to support it. I'm not so sure. The engine is not supported now at the back, which is a problem. I did have some wood, but that's come loose. Again, Saildrive Italy put some rather nice wedges in here, which worked well. I just wondered whether I can do the same. That's fairly light to move. This is a lot smaller engine than he was dealing with, and the spline's a lot smaller as well. So if I can just get some wedges in there just to support that, stop it rocking backwards. Back. I might get that there, might I? Ah, that's fine. That's fine. And I'll have a look and see how far I can get this engine, because I got all these bolts out round the side now, and see what we can do with that. So far, so good. Well, once the seal was broken, it took some work, that though. That really did take some work. What that's happened? Came off the other side then, which I didn't want to happen. I mean, it should be enough for me to take those off. We'll find out anyway. See where all these nuts are. And kindly they've left the one underneath the engine free. So it's mainly these I need to take out. Before I do that, I think I need to support this Saildrive from dropping through. And they say in the manual for a rod. In here, right the way through, just to support it both. Let's see what happens. That was a good guess. No, I think I'll use a ratchet set.
Right, now try and take out the Saildrive. This is the tricky bit. I showed you how difficult it is getting in there, but it's releasing that Saildrive and taking it back again that I've got to try and do now. The big thing is it's recommended that you take the steel rim out of the bottom. So once you get the Saildrive out, you pull it off the bottom. Because it says you can't take it over the top, but actually I found, it came over the top fine. Maybe it's because it's got a smaller spine, but you can see there, it just takes a bit of manoeuvring, and then the rim comes off, and then you withdraw the Saildrive backwards towards you, and it's fine. It's out then, and you're ready to take it away and work on it in comfort.
Just to show the arrangement underneath, I've got the rope there, it's through to the front of the boat, and then I've used a strap here to actually put some pressure on, which worked well, and that was able to pull the Saildrive at an angle so that I could get it off. so that worked well. The guy from Saildrive, Italy, he actually just used a rope, but I think he's a lot stronger than me, so I had to use the strap. I now have a hole in my boat. All that needs clearing out. Good clean. And this needs a good clean. And hopefully we can start seeing some progress. Okay, now for reassembly. Make sure all the dust is gone. Make sure that's clean. And then it's a question of putting these back in and then just tighten these up. Clamp that seal in place. Hello.
Go to Aldi.
Okay.
I know you want biscuits and chocolate.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
That should. Right, as you can see, I started to put the bolts back, and I need to compress those to 40 Newton meters, and I've got the 2 back bolts to do. All the other bolts I managed to get in. I've used this shelf, which is, there's the hole in the side of the gearbox, and I've used that to prop up the gearbox so that I could push the engine back. Everything went well, actually. I was quite impressed how easy it was, apart from at the beginning I had to move the engine forward slightly so I could get to the bolts underneath, and unfortunately I pushed it off, so the engine fell down in the front there, and that wasn't easy to get out because it was jam solid. But after a lot of work and a lot of iron bars and everything, and the engine's not heavy, it was just that it was jammed the way it fell. It was absolutely jammed. So now the idea is to tighten everything up, fill it with oil, because you know, I don't want it remaining dry, and that's it really. Everything, put all the engine back together, which I'll show the process, but that's fairly straightforward, I hope. Just need to make sure that these engine mountings are on. As I say, Chris from Saildrive, Italy, does an excellent job, and he's very clean and thorough, unlike me, but hopefully we have the same result and get it done. Well, unfortunately I didn't have the camera when I had to put all this back, but as you can see, managed to get in there. Hopefully that's sealed now. If not, we'll find out when we launch it in March. And just need to make sure this is tight, refill it with oil, okay, and then put a brand new galvanic strip on that. Make sure all that's clean first, and make sure there's a good adherence there for the strip, otherwise the paint will act as an insulator and we don't want that. So the ideal thing is to do all of that at some stage. This is an example of how long it takes to fill this, even though there's a massive hole there. Look how slowly that goes down. It's quicker to take the gearbox out, refurbish it and put it back than it is to fill it with oil. But unfortunately that's what you got to do. See the water coming out there? And that's just on tick over, so that's quite nice.
Back together again now, and that's the job done.